Colorado High School Activities Association. Baseball is on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. From Loveland, Colorado at Resurrection Christian, the Brush Beet Diggers face the Resurrection Christian Cougars. Good afternoon. I'm Kevin Fergus along with Evan James. Today's starting lineups. The Beet Diggers starting lineup is brought to you by Equitable Savings and Loan. Mobile banking on the go makes banking easier for you when you're on the go. Check it out today. Ty Griffith will be leading off, the junior. He'll be catching. All the rest are seniors. Kyle Wellen hitting second will be the first baseman. Braxton Shelton, the shortstop, hitting third. Cesar Hinojos, center field, hitting cleanup. Caden Moriarty will be the pitcher today for the Brush Beet Diggers. Ivan Cardenas will be the right fielder, hitting sixth. Alejandro Maltos Garcia will be hitting seventh. And at third base, Sam Metlin, the second baseman, will be hitting eighth. And Caden Schwint for your Brush Beet Diggers will be hitting ninth and will be playing left field. For the Resurrection Christian Cougars, Carter Evans, Jr., will be batting first. He'll be the shortstop. Luke Ruby, a senior, will be the pitcher, hitting second. Ryan Ward, the senior, he'll be the right fielder. Deegan Corrigan, sophomore, will be hitting fourth and the first baseman. Brady Flood, the center fielder, senior, will be hitting fifth. Carter Cybers will be hitting sixth, and he'll be playing second base. Easton Vecchio will be hitting third, and he's the number 7 hitter. Bennett Ruby, freshman, is catcher, and he'll be hitting eighth. And Caden Bailey, a sophomore, will be hitting left field, and he'll be hitting ninth for the Resurrection Christian Cougars. So we'll set their defense for Resurrection Christian. Luke Ruby will be on the hill, senior, and his battery mate will be Bennett Ruby. So looks like brother to brother, senior to freshman. First base will be Deegan Corrigan, Carter Cybers. Third base will be Easton Vecchio. And in between those two will be Carter Evans, and he'll be the shortstop. Left field, Caden Bailey. Center field, Brady Flood. And right fielder, Ryan Ward. So that sets your lineup for the Resurrection Cougars. They come into the game 4-2 on the season. They're 3-2 within the Patriot League. Your Brush Beet Diggers are 5-3, and they are 3-2 within the Patriot League. Luke Ruby stats coming into today. He has pitched 8 innings. He has 2 saves. He has a 3.50 ERA. And in those 8 innings, he's struck out 10, but he's also walked 5. So that'll set Ruby on the hill for Res Christian. Coming to the plate for Brush Beet Diggers will be Ty Griffith. Ty Griffith leading off. The only junior in the lineup, the rest are seniors. And Ty Griffith, I think, if I remember right, because the wind is blowing, I'm not going to make excuses, but because the wind is blowing, Ty Griffith comes into the game and he's hitting .464. And he leads the team in hits with 13. He has a couple home runs and 8 RBIs on the season. So he's got off to a strong start. With 8 games in the books, Brush plays Res Christian today. And then they'll play at home in Brush on Thursday at 4 o'clock. And they will host Res Christian. The wind is blowing here in Loveland. Evan James is with me, but we have blue sky, right, Evan?
We do have blue sky, but it is quite the wind. We're lucky enough to find shelter behind a little rock, so it's not as bad. But
everybody is bundled up. Luke Ruby peers in and throws a curveball low and outside for a first pitch.
Which is brought to you by Buildings by Design. When it comes to Buildings by Design is the best in the business. Quality, commitment, and experience makes Buildings by Design the only choice when it comes to your next project. That pitch was outside.
2-0 to Ty Griffith, wears number 10 on his back. Pitch from Luke Ruby, a ball. That was low. Today, Brush Bee Diggers are wearing their gray pants along with their marigold jerseys and the maroon numbers. 3-0 pitch right down the pike for the first strike of the game by Luke Ruby. Ty Griffith peers out at the pitcher, and the pitch comes in, and Ty Griffith hits the ball a mile high out towards center field. We'll see what the wind does with that. Center fielder gets underneath it. Center fielder's Brady Flood and squeezes it for first out.
You know, Brady Flood didn't have to move far for that one. Just took a couple steps forward, and that was that. Retires Ty Griffith here for the Bee Diggers, and up comes Kyle Wellen, the senior.
Kyle Wellen on the season. He comes into the game hitting .333. Has 7 base on balls, and he has 9 stolen bases. So good start for Kyle. Pitch, check swing by Kyle Wellen, a strike. There's a curveball in the dirt, and there's a change in. There's Christian. Kyle Wellen fouls that off to the right, so he falls behind in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Riss Christian, instead of having a dirt catcher's area, the circle around that has synthetic turf, so that's just a little bit different. The pitch from Ruby, a curveball. Wellen hits it one hopper to the third baseman. Easton Vecchio throws over to Deegan Corrigan for the second out in the game.
That'll bring up Braxton Shelton.
Braxton Shelton leads the team in home runs. He's on a 3-game home run streak, but Braxton is hitting .389 with 12 RBIs, but he also leads the team in 4 hit-by pitches. The first pitch from Ruby to Braxton Shelton, a strike at the knees on the outside corner. Game time temperature, 52 degrees. The pitch, curveball. Shelton gets a good cut at that, and back to the screen the ball goes. So Shelton, in the start the game, is down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Ruby looks into Ruby, the pitch, curveball in the dirt, in the synthetic, I guess I should say, right?
In the turf.
In the turf. You're going to get probably 2 hops coming off that synthetic turf to the catcher. The 1-2 pitch from Ruby, curveball, and Shelton fouls that back to the left side.
Really in on the hands there. And I took a defensive swing.
There is blue sky. There are some clouds, but the wind is probably blowing 25 to 30, and Shelton fouls that back. Fouls it off the catcher. So Shelton stays alive. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Luke Ruby throwing to Bennett Ruby, the senior to the freshman on the battery for the Res Christian Cougars. Shelton with a open stance, the pitch, curveball, and that was to where we were sitting. I would have caught it, one hand, fell back. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. Luke Ruby peers in, gets the sign, shakes his brother off. Here's the pitch, fastball. Shelton swings through the pitch for swinging strike 3. So for the Brush Bee Diggers in the top half of the first inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody on base. And your score after 1/2 inning of play, Brush Bee Diggers 0, Res Christian coming to bat. You're listening to 10 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. We're back to Res Christian High School on Tuesday, April 5th. Brush Bee Diggers facing the Res Christian Cougars. We'll set Brush's defense for Keaton Moriarty with a 5.00 ERA, 7 innings pitched, 9 strikeouts on the season, is on the hill. Behind the plate is Ty Griffith. First base, Kyle Wellen. Second base will be Sam Metlin. Alejandro Malcos Garcia will be playing third base. And between them at shortstop will be Braxton Shelton. Caden Schwint, left fielder. Cesar Hinojos will be the senior center fielder today, and Yvonne Cardenas will be in right field. Coming to plate for Res Christian is Carter Evans, and if I remember, Carter Evans is the one that's been hitting the cover off the ball. He's hitting 500 on the season through their 6 games. He has their only home run, and we'll see if he gets on. He has 10 hits and 9 RBIs. So Carter Evans leads off, number 6 for the Res Christian Cougars. Moriarty, Griffith, well-established battery mates. Moriarty gets a sign. The pitch from the windup. Strike, no. Took a little bit off, and that ball dropped below the zone for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes to Carter Evans. Pitch from Moriarty. Fastball, and Evans laces that ball to left field to Schwint on 2 hops. Evans rounds first.
Number 27, Luke Ruby.
Don't need to worry about a no-hitter today, Evan.
Yeah, you heard about that one.
Number 27, Luke Ruby, the pitcher, comes to the plate. Evans leads off from first base. Moriarty will pitch from the stretch. Evans with about a 3-step lead. Moriarty goes over first. I think it showed that Evans had 6 stolen bases.
Look here. Yep, 6 stolen bases.
I'm going to do a lot of this off memory just because that way I don't have to open that book up with all the papers and the wind blowing and everything. The pitch from Moriarty, foul back and out of play for the first strike to Luke Ruby.
Luke Ruby, a senior.
Moriarty peers in and rocks and fires, and Ruby tries to bunt, pops the ball up, and it was foul, but Griffith had plenty of time in order to be able to get underneath it for the out. So 1 out, and Evans is still at first.
This will be Ryan Ward.
Ryan Ward is a senior, wears number 12 on his back, and Ward is hitting .438 on the season. Moriarty throws over to first base just to keep Evans close. Would be a threat to run. Ty Griffith will have a tailwind as he throws down to second if he needed. Pitch from Moriarty, a ball. A ball and no strikes with 1 out. Carter Evans at first base for the Res Christian Cougars. The sun shining, the wind blowing. The pitch from Moriarty, laced towards shortstop and past Braxton Shelton. The ball goes to the fence. Carter Evans is being waved home. The ball did get to the fence, and Ward pulls up the second for a double, and the Res Christian Cougars have a 1-0 lead over the Brush Bead Diggers. The ball just hit and just kept going and going and going, and it went all the way to the fence, and Schwint and Hinojos weren't able to stop it. And Evans was able to motor around from first base to be able to score the first run of the game.
Deegan Corrigan is your batter now for the Resurrection Christian Cougars.
Corrigan comes to the plate and swings through the first pitch, a strike. Corrigan, I think, was hitting really good, if I'm not mistaken, .556 on the season. unorthodox open stance, the way he holds the bat, where his elbow is, but Moriarty with the pitch and a curveball, swinging strike. Ball started in the zone and dropped right out of the zone and right over, right underneath Corrigan's bat. No balls, 2 strikes to Deegan Corrigan, the sophomore for the Res Christian Eagles, wears number 28 on his back. The pitch from Moriarty, strike 3 on the outside corner, looking. 2 outs in the inning, and to the plate comes Brady Flood. Brady Flood is the center fielder, and he's a senior and wears number 4 on his. Brady Flood comes into the game hitting 400 for the Res Christian Cougars. Brian Ward leads off second base. From Moriarty, a strike on the outside corner. Moriarty and Griffith work together. Griffith is down low. The pitch from Moriarty. Strike on the inside corner at the knees with no offering by Brady Flood.
Beaters really want to minimize the damage here.
See what Caden Moriarty does. Change eye location on the outside. Just a little bit outside at the knees. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Brady Flood. Number 5 in the lineup for the Res Christian Cougars with the Cougars with a 1-0 lead. The pitch swung on and missed. So for the Res Christian Cougars, they scored 1 run on 2 hits. There were no Brush Beat Digger errors, and there was 1 runner left on base. After 1 complete inning of play, Res Christian Cougars 1, Brush Beat Digger 0. You're listening to Brush Beat Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Res Christian High School in Loveland, Colorado. The Brush Beat Diggers straight up 1-0. Cesar comes into the game, and Cesar is hitting .278. Has a home run on the season. And but today, I don't think is a day where you really try to hit a home run. What you need to do is just get on base and make them have to field the ball, because they're going to have to do the same things we're having to do is take care of 21 outs, and hopefully you're able to get a few more runs than the opposing team does. So Ruby, first inning, 15 pitches, 11 strikes. So his ratio is good. Curveball to Hinojos at the knees, a strike. Ruby working quickly. He's on the left side of the rubber, and curveball to Cesar, a strike right down the middle of the plate. So Hinojos falls behind in the count, no balls, 2 strikes. Ruby peers over the top edge of his glove. Hinojos calls for time, steps out. Breaks up the rhythm of Ruby. Ruby goes right back to looking over the top of his glove, and the pitch outside, a ball. Ruby throws the ball well.
He does. He's got good control so far.
I can see why they've used him a couple times in save situations. Pitch from Ruby, low. 2 balls, 2 strikes to number 22, Cesar Hinojos. Ruby again working quickly in the pitch. Curveball. Hinojos 2-hopper to the shortstop, and the shortstop over to first. And a little bit of a fumble, but at first calls out. I'm not quite sure what was going on there with the first base. Did you see that?
It looked like he misstepped, but I mean,
Come on, K-Dog.
the ball was in the glove at the end of the day. And I'll bring up Caden Moriarty here for the Beat Diggers, hitting from the left side, senior. And that pitch was high.
Moriarty comes into the game, and I think he's hitting, 333, Evan? If I'm not mistaken, the pitch from Ruby. Low and outside. Look here. 2 balls, no strikes.
316.
316. I wasn't too far off.
No, you weren't.
I was in the ballpark. It was above 300. I knew that. Moriarty, the pitch, and he fouls that back up and over the school. 2 balls and a strike to number 20, Caden Moriarty. Ruby to Ruby. The pitch, curveball. 3 balls and a strike to Caden Moriarty. It was over Ryan Ward, the right fielder's head, and it hit once and bounced over the fence for a ground rule double.
Great hit there by Caden Moriarty as he laced that one in the right field, took one hop right over the fence, and we got a
Courtesy runner.
Yeah, courtesy runner here.
It's
Caden
Lefevre. Caden Lefevre. When you have the pitcher or the catcher, you can have a courtesy runner. Doesn't matter. You can get them out, get the pitcher back in the dugout, get him rested, get the catcher to where he can get his gear on, get back out. But Lefevre leads off from second base, comes to the plate. Cardenas pitch, a strike at the knees to Cardenas. A pitch, low to Cardenas. 1 ball and a strike. Cardenas is hitting 333. See, I knew there was a 333 in there someplace. And Cardenas chases ball 2.
That was way upstairs.
But he swings at it for a strike. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Lefevre leads second for your Brush Bee Diggers. Be on the hill, gets a sign, pitch, curveball, strike 3. Looking. There's a big hook and struck Devon out.
I'll bring up Alejandro Matos Garcia, the senior here for the Bee Diggers.
He's in the game and he's hitting .9. Has 7 base on balls on the season. So good eye. 2 outs. Lefevre off pitch, and Matos Garcia fouls that back and to the right, out of play. A lot of green grass out there, Evan. This is a large outfield. I think that's why that ball that was hit by Riz Christian rolled all the way to the fence. The pitch, a ball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Level count to the senior third baseman today, Alejandro Matos Garcia. Ruby looks in. Rogers pitch. A ball, 2 balls and a strike to Hondo. And Ruby, the catcher, Bennett, goes out and talks to Luke, the senior, and says, hey, let's change things up. Looks like they're maybe stealing signals. Just want to make sure.
Communication there.
2 balls and a strike to Alejandro. And Alejandro swings the pitch, and the ball was up, and then it tipped off the glove of catcher, and the fielder moves up to third base. 2-2 pitch to 2-2 count to Hondo, and Hondo swings through the pitch for out. After 1.5 innings of play, Brush 0, Resurrection Christian 1. You're listening to Beat Digger Baseball on 1010 KIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. On a beautiful sunshiny afternoon, the wind's blowing. Brush Bee Diggers 15 pitches, 10 strikes. So he's doing what he needs to, but Riz Christian was able to come through in order to be able to get a run in the bottom of the first inning. Carter Cybers comes to the plate, and Cybers is hitting .333 on the season. white pants, white jerseys with blue numbers. Cybers hits a ball to Hondo at third. Hondo over to one at first for the out. One hop to Hondo. Hondo takes care of what he needs to. And comes to the plate, number 7 hitter, Easton Vecchio. Wears number 14 on his back, the senior. Vecchio hitting 176 on the season. The pitch fouled off to the right side by Vecchio.
And there's the second out as Kyle Wellen went right over to the fence and caught that.
The wind must have kept that ball in play, and as it did, Wellen was able to camp underneath it in order to be able to get the second out in the season. So 2 pitches, 2 outs by K-Dog.
That is good for Caden Moriarty here, saving himself. And now comes Bennett Ruby hitting 176, and he's a freshman.
K-Dog peers in to Griffith for the sign, and the pitch inside, a ball. So he couldn't have the perfect inning, 3 pitches, 3 outs, but hey, 2 pitches, 2 outs, we're doing pretty good. K-Dog puts in for the sign, rocks and fires, the pitch, a little bit low. 2 balls, no strikes to the catcher, Bennett Ruby. K-Dog, Griffith, K-Dog, the pitch. Ball 3. Don't lose him here.
Yeah, you cannot afford to walk.
The number 8 hitter, a freshman with not much experience on varsity level. K-Dog, Griffith, the pitch. K-Dog walks him on 4 pitches.
That'll bring up the number 9
Next
hitter,
up, Caden
which is
Bailey.
number 7, Caden Bailey, hitting 300 on the season. He's a sophomore.
Number 22 is going to be the courtesy runner for Bennett Ruby at first base. 2 outs.
That is Christian Seimer.
Christian Seimer comes to be the courtesy runner for the catcher. K-Dog from the stretch. The pitch, a strike, inside corner.
Come on now.
20 pitches, 13 strikes for Caden Moriarty. Ahead in the count, no balls and 1 strike. The pitch for Moriarty. Fouled back. No balls, 2 strikes to the number 9 hitter, Caden Bailey. Brush needs to get out of here because we don't need to be facing Carter Evans, the top of the order with runners on base. The pitch from K-Dog. Oh, hit him. Ball just sailed inside. So Bailey draws the hit by pitch, and first base moving Seimers up to second base. And the top of the order, Carter Evans, who had a single his first time up. He laced pitch from Moriarty, 2-hopper out to Schwint in left field. Chris Christian has 2 runners on base at first and second. The pitch from Moriarty, a curve upstairs. A ball. Carter Evans, junior shortstop for the Cougars. The pitch from Moriarty. Up and out of the zone. 2 balls, no strikes to Carter Evans. Number 6 on his back, which is also the position number, shortstop at 6. 2-0, the count. Moriarty Gets the sign, looks back at second, rocks and fires. Curveball on the inside corner. Strike.
Two balls, one strike, and 2 outs here. Caden Moriarty.
Got to force every bag. Moriarty, Griffith working together. The pitch, a strike right down the middle. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Just keep battling out there, K-Dog. Take care of what you need to right here and put this guy down.
Be monumental to get him here.
K-Dog brings it. Pitch, strike 3. Looking right at the knees. And that was an out, leaving 2 runners stranded. So after 2 complete innings of play, Rush Christian 1, Rush Beat Digger 0. You're listening to Beat Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Rush Beat Diggers and the Res Christian Cougars face off against each other in a Patriot League game on the Tuesday, April 5th. Coming to the plate for the Rush Beat Diggers in the top of the 3rd inning is Sam Metlin. Line score through 2 innings, Res Christian 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and they've left 3 runners on base. For Brush, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and they've left 1 runner on base. Metlin comes to the plate, and he's hitting .316 on the season. Ruby just has that classic look over the glove, and like, you're not going to see the rest of my face, but he throws a strike to Sam Metlin. The pitch from Ruby, working quickly upstairs, but Metlin chases it. It was above the letters on the jersey, but Metlin chased it for strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes to Sam Metlin. Curveball, and Metlin sticks with it. 2-hopper out to Evans. Evans over to first base. Deegan Corrigan for the first out for the Res Christian Eagles.
Cougars.
We faced the Eagles and the Eagles and the Eagles all last week, so I've got Eagles on my mind.
I'll bring up Caden Schwint for the Beat Diggers. He is 200, and the pitch is a curve right on the inside there for Schwint.
Ball 1 to Caden Schwint. Pitch from Ruby. Inside. 2 balls, no strikes. This is what Schwint is good at.
Yeah.
He has a good eye and going to make the pitcher work. And usually, you know, when you need him to, he gets that lineup to where it turns over. Pitch from Ruby inside, a ball. And umpire ends up saying, hey, that hit Schwint must have just glanced off the helmet.
Number 10, Ty Griffith.
So Schwint goes to first base. You've got speed on the bases, and Schwint with nobody out.
And power at bat here with Ty Griffith.
And the top of the order for your Beat Diggers. Schwint, 2-step, 3-step lead. The pitch from Ruby, a ball to Griffith. Griffith, short, compact swing, pitch from Ruby, and Griffith fouls that up a mile high. The wind's going to keep it in play, the third baseman, and that's going to be a fielder's choice as Schwint had nowhere to go. I mean, third baseman was looking up, and then all of a sudden the ball's over his head, but it's between the third baseman and the shortstop.
Schwint 13,
couldn't really go far from first base in case he did catch it. So Griffith is on base on the fielder's choice.
And even then we have a courtesy runner in the form of Jace Krieger for the Beat Diggers on first base, and Kyle Wellen is at bat. The throw to first is not in time, and Jace Krieger is in diving.
So Brush has a runner on first base with 2 outs. Wellen at the plate. First pitch to Wellen, up and in, a ball. Krieger 2-step, 3-step lead. Ruby pitches, and Wellen fouls that back over the screen. Ball and a strike to number 13, Kyle Wellen. Ruby looks over at first, sees Krieger's lead, comes to the plate, curveball, outside.
Had a nice hook to it, but just a little too much on the outside.
2 balls and a strike to Kyle Wellen, the first baseman for the Brush Bee Diggers. Krieger, 3.5-step lead, and he gets back, and the ball skips away from the first baseman, and Krieger gets to second base, and he's safe. So error on the first baseman. And Krieger moves up to second base. 2 balls and a strike to Kyle Wellen with a runner in scoring position. Pitch from Ruby to Wellen. Wellen swings through the pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Really don't want to leave Krieger on the bag here. Want to get him home to tie up this game.
2-2 count with 2 outs. Runner at second for the Brush Bee Diggers. Wellen facing Ruby, and Wellen hits the ball down the right field line. That'll score Krieger. Wellen just making sure that the throw goes through and stays at first base. So Brush ties the score up with a base hit by Kyle Wellen. He just stuck his bat out and right down the first line into the outfield for the single. And with at first, brings to the plate Braxton Shelton. The pitch, curveball, took a little bit off, and Shelton swings through that pitch for a strike. Wellen with 9 stolen bases on the season. We'll see what he does at first base with Shelton and that ball is fouled back. I'm going to keep my eye on it as it goes behind us. And just the way the wind is blowing, who knows? That might blow right back on top of the 7.
Yeah, you can't be too careful here.
Shelton down in the count, no balls, 2 strike. You would expect that Ruby, experienced senior, will throw either off speed, curveball, gets caught in a pickle, and he's out at second base. And Shelton goes back to the dugout and will lead off the top of the 4th inning. But Brush scores 1 run on 1 hit, and they don't leave any runners stranded, but there was 1 Res Christian error. So after 2.5 innings, Brush Bee Diggers 1, Res Christian Cougars 1. You're listening to Bee Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR in the Eastern Plains Network. Brush Bee Digger Baseball. Brush Bee Diggers tied the Res Christian Cougars in the top half of the 3rd inning. Krieger was on second base, and Wellen hit the ball down the right field line in order to score him to tie the score up at 1-1. Evan commented, told me that it seems like the game is moving along rather quickly. A good quick game is always good. The pitch from Moriarty, a strike at the knees on the inside corner. Sometimes with weather conditions the way they are, with the wind and the cold a little bit, everybody just, hey, let's just go. Pitch from Moriarty, curveball, fouled back to the screen. Moriarty ahead in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Moriarty holds his glove high and begins the full windup, and the pitch upstairs, ball. Ball and 2 strikes to Luke Ruby. Moriarty takes a deep breath, rocks and fires. Ball. Umpire's been consistent today. Has a nice zone. I like what the umpire's doing. Not giving the guys the outside edge, but yet he's having them throw strikes. He's staying within the bounds of that. Pitch from K-Dog, and the ball grounded down the left line, foul past the third baseman. K-Dog, Ty Griffith working together. Griffith gets down the road. Curveball, foul ball, past Maltos at third base.
Hey, Tom, I have one baseball when he gets back. Not you.
Sometimes when the ball is hitting.
Good job there by Caden Moriarty getting that strikeout.
Except for the Cougars, number 12, Ryan
And
Ward.
here's what he really wants here is the second one.
Yeah,
He does a good job.
Ryan Ward hit a double his last time up, but it was a ball that got past Braxton Shelton at shortstop and then rolled all the way to the fence for the double. Dog pitch upstairs. Ryan Ward is a big, tall kid, probably 6'2", 6'3", so he's got a good, lengthy strike zone to work with. Open stance, pitch from Moriarty. Ball. So 2 balls, no strikes to Ryan Ward. T-Dog looks in for the sign. Here's the offering. Skips past Ty Griffith for a ball. 3 balls, no strikes to Ryan Ward.
Get his first strike here.
I don't think Ryan Ward would have a green light, but let's see. Pitch from Moriarty. Ball 4. So there's been runners in each of the innings for the Res Christian.
Deacon Corrigan.
That'll bring up Deacon Corrigan.
Corrigan came into this game with a leading batting average for the Cougars. One out, runner at first. Ryan Ward leads off first, 2-step lead. K-Dog pitch, strike at the knees to Corrigan.
Throw back to first was not in time by Ty Griffith.
Corrigan making sure that he has signal straight. Steps back into the box and K-Dog goes over to first base to be able to get close to the bag. He's back in safely.
No balls, 1 strike and 1 out here for Deacon Corrigan as Moriarty looks in.
And on the pitch, Ryan Ward takes off and steals second base. The ball was low. Ball was low and in the dirt for Griffith. Griffith couldn't find the handle. Ryan Ward went to second and with a stolen base. So he's on at second with 1 out. Corrigan at the plate with a 1-1 count. Pitch from Moriarty, curveball. A strike at the letters, the inside portion of the plate.
Great pitch there by Moriarty. Hooked in right where he wanted it to be.
No offering by Corrigan.
Let's go, bud.
1 ball, 2 strikes. In a 1-1 ball game here in the bottom of the 3rd inning at Res Christian High School in Loveland, Colorado. The pitch from Moriarty upstairs and out of the zone. 2 balls, 2 strikes. when Evan and I got here, we tried to pick out a spot where there wouldn't be any wind. I think we might have found the best spot in this whole facility. Pitch from Moriarty. Low and in the dirt to Griffith. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
And here's something you can't do. You cannot give up this batter. You were up early in the count. It was 2-0, if I remember correctly. Now he's come back, and it's 3-2, full count here for Deegan Corrigan. And Moriarty's got to get this out here.
Ryan Ward with the lead off second, and Corrigan pops the ball up to Schwint in left field. Schwint hauls it in for the out. Ryan Ward stays at second base.
Up next for the Cougars is number 4, Brady Flood.
So the out to Schwint in left field is the second out. And with 2 outs, Ryan Ward at second base. Brady Flood comes to the plate. Flood struck out swinging his first time at the plate.
Let's go,
And
Kato!
this is where I think K-Dog dominated as he went through these next few hitters as he faced them in the second inning. Pitch from K-Dog, grounded to Maltos Garcia into left field, and the runner Ryan Ward comes to third. Coach Magaro
Is number 9.
and struck out and got that back in. So runners at the corners for the Cougars in a 1-run, 1-1 game in the bottom of the third inning. Coming to the plate, Carter Cybers. Pitch from K-Dog to Cybers, a strike. Cybers grounded out his first time at the plate. Cybers, if I remember that name, were some Cyber brothers that were older. Pitch outside, and on the pitch, Flood takes off to go to second. It gets the ball down to second. A little bit late.
Second and third. Up to bat for the Resurrection Cougars. And Marty Peterson for his next pitch.
The 1-1 pitch. Strike on the inside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cybers.
It would be big here for Moriarty to get this out. 2 runners stranded for the Cougars.
Absolutely. Chris Christian is always stranded in the day. Hit from swung on, missed. Strikeout. I think that's strikeout number 4 for Caden Moriarty. For the Res Christian Cougars, they did not score a run, so after 3 complete innings of play, Brush won, Res Christian won. You're listening to Beat Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Brush Beat Diggers and the Res Christian Cougars in a battle in the 4th inning in Loveland, Colorado. Brush Beat Diggers won, Res Christian won. Through 3 innings, Brush has 1 run on 2 hits, and they've left 1 runner on base. And the Res Christian Cougars, 1 run on 3 hits. They've committed an error, but they've left 5 runners on base. See if Brush can get something going in this top of the 4th inning as Braxton Shelton comes to the plate one more time. Kyle Wellen was caught stealing to end the inning prior in the bottom of, or the top of the 3rd inning. So Brax Shelton comes to the plate, struck out swinging his first time up.
He's really looking to get something started here for the Beat Diggers.
Ruby with the pitch, number 50, and that's fouled straight back. Ruby, 50 pitches, 32 strikes, so he's throwing 64% strikes. That's easy enough to figure, right? Yeah. Good deal. So Shelton falls behind in the count, no balls and a strike. Curveball outside in the dirt, scooped up by Bennett Ruby, the catcher for the Cougars. So 1-1 pitch to number 18, the pitch. Curveball, low. 2 balls and a strike to Braxton Shelton.
Ruby really working fast.
Pitch from Ruby, low. 3 balls and a strike to the leadoff hitter for the Brush Beet Diggers in the top of the 4th inning, in a 1-1 tie at this point. Pitch at the knee, strike. Full count to Braxton Shelton.
Looking to protect here.
All we need here is base runners. We need base runners. Hit's good, but ball's just as good, Kevin.
When that small ball gets just as lethal.
And Shelton hits that ball up and over the left field head. And,
that is a home run.
Home run number 5 for Braxton Shelton. He's hit a home run in 4 consecutive games.
That
And
thing
Brush-
was laced.
And Brush takes the lead 2-1 whatsoever. Because he wasn't going to have a play on that ball.
You took one look at it and you're like, oh, that thing's gone. Great job there by Braxton Shelton, bringing the score to 2-1 in favor of the Brush Beaters, and Seth stepped up. So one minute, that is one. That's our no.
Start round out. And count, no balls in the strike. Calls time. Fire answer. Steps out. Takes a deep breath. Stays right in the number. I mean, he's right there ready to go. The pitch from Ruby. That's it. Fouls the ball out the screen. I guess that's pitcher's choice whether they stay on rubber or not. Obviously, there was uncalled, that they needed to step off, but he's right there ready to pitch. And the pitch outside to Hinojos, and 2 strikes. 2 on his back. Hinojos graduates here in 2022, and the 2-2 pitch, and Hinojos checks a swing, and he's out. The ball was scooped up by Ruby, the catcher, and
Caden Moriarty.
tagged Hinojos out for the first out in the inning. So in the top of the 4th inning, Brush with a 2-1 lead on Braxton Shelton's home run. Caden Moriarty comes to the plate. The first pitch is a strike at the letters. And that ball was like a backdoor slider, and it got K-Dog on the foot, and so K-Dog goes to first base on a hit by pitch. I would imagine that Caden Lefevre, the courtesy runner, will come out and run. Yes, indeed.
Sure does.
For K-Dog.
And Ivan Cardenas is up to bat for the Beet Diggers.
Ivan struck out looking his first time at the plate, see if he learned anything in that at bat as he faces Ruby for the second time. Lefevre leads off at first, and the pitch from Ruby to Ruby is a ball low, just below the knees to Ivan Cardenas.
And one going for these Ruby brothers is, you can always get practice at home.
And the ball was lined to the pitcher, and the pitcher flags it down for the second out, and
the third out.
The third out was at first base as Caden Lefevre was leading off, and it's one of those ones where you're twixt in between, rock in a hard place, and so Lefevre is out at first for the third out. So for the Brush Beet Diggers, run on 1 hit. There was nobody left. There were no errors for Res Christian. So after 3.5 innings, halfway through the game, Brush Beet Diggers 2, Res Christian 2. You're listening to Digger Baseball on 1010 SR and the Sports Network. 2-1 lead. In the bottom of the 4th inning is the number 7 hitter, Easton Vecchio. Caden Moriarty, pitch number 50, will be coming right up. The pitch, and inside for a ball. Moriarty inside. 2-0 to Easton Vecchio. Vecchio out his first up. I think that was all that went out to
Swing for glory there. Tell you what.
He was swinging from his heels, that's for sure. This location that Evan and I are on, and the ball grounded to Maltos
Hondo.
Garcia, an error as it clangs off his glove.
Next up for the Cougars, number 5, Bennett Ruby.
Misplayed it there and got behind him, but Braxton Shelton came, backed him up, and got it into Caden Moriarty.
Maltos Garcia with the first brush beat digger error today. Vecchio gets on first base. They've had runners every single inning. They scored in the bottom of the first inning, but they've not scored since. Moriarty's been able to keep them off the hooks, and the pitch from Moriarty, a ball, but the throwdown as Vecchio tries to steal second base, and he's out, caught
By a
stealing.
long shot. I mean, they had plain sign. It took one bounce. Shelton came in, grabbed it, and put it on him before he even started with the dive.
That was the one where we wait for him to come in the bag before he could even come out. 1-0 to Bennett Ruby. Ruby started to bunt, but pulled it back. Pitch from K-Dog to Ruby, a ball. 2 balls, no strikes to the freshman catcher.
Like we were saying earlier, this is not someone you want to walk.
And that's what he did the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yep, he did, because Bennett Ruby did walk, and the pitch to Ruby is strike. Right at the waist high, outside corner of the plate. 2 balls and a strike to Ruby. Make him have to swing the bat. K-Dog looks in, rocks and fires, and inside. 3 balls and a strike. Vecchio, as he was attempting to steal that base, helps brush out, clears the bases. 1 out in the inning. The pitch, the 3-1 pitch, a strike, inside corner to Bennett Ruby.
Yeah, I almost hit that same location. He didn't even think about swinging there. You could see it.
The game is 1 hour old. So we started just a little bit past 4 o'clock. The 3-2 pitch from Moriarty swung on and missed for the strikeout by Moriarty. 2 down on the inning. Brings up Caden Bailey, the sophomore. Bailey, the number 9 hitter in the lineup, the left fielder for the Cougars. Number 7 on his back. I'm sorry, number 9 on his back. Number 7 on his back.
Yeah, 9 and 9 hitter.
9 hitter, yes. Number 7 on his back. But he is the left fielder. K-Dog looks in, brings it. Ball.
That's a good looking pitch. Here we go, Brush!
A ball and a strike to Caden Bailey. As Evan and I picked this spot to be able to be out of the wind, there are a few of these river rock that are right here, so we've had to adjust a few of them as we go. And swung on and missed by Bailey. So Moriarty up in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes to the number 9 hitter. I had one that I just took and I just tossed. I wanted to make sure I didn't toss it on the equipment. I think Rose at back of the station might not have liked that. K-Dog with his 6th strikeout strikes out Bailey.
That's a
Without-
1-2-3 inning there.
Without swinging, and that was, well, not really a 1-2-3 inning because Vecchio got on base. So anyway, for Res Christian, no runs, no hits, 1 brush error, and there's nobody left on base. After 4 complete innings of play. Brush Beat Diggers 2, Res Christian Cougars 1. You're listening to Beat Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Res Christian High School on a sunshiny but windy and blustery day in Loveland, Colorado. Brush Beat Diggers with a 2-1 lead as we head to the top of the 5th inning. Alejandro Maltos Garcia comes to the plate. He struck out his first time up. Struck out swinging.
Leading off for the Beat Diggers.
Ruby has 64 pitches on the day, 39 strikes. Ruby works quickly. The pitch, curveball outside to Maltos Garcia. Ruby stands on the first base side of the rubber at the extreme side of the first base rubber. Curveball looked to me inside, but the umpire called a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to Alejandro Maltos Garcia. The pitch low. 2 balls and a strike. Maltos Garcia wears number 12 on his back. And the pitch, a strike.
Brought some heat with that one.
At the waist on the outside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ruby's shown some sneaky speed. I mean, he mixes in that slow curveball and then he brings the heat. That pitch was a curveball outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Hondo. Hondo with the error in the previous inning didn't hurt Brush as Vecchio was able to get thrown out. And Hondo hits a 2-hopper over to Carter Evans, over to first base. Deegan Corrigan for the first out.
Let's go, buddy.
Hard hit on the ground, but right at Evans, and Evans hardly had to move. He just had to set his feet, and to be able to make the throw over to Corrigan for the first out. Brings to the plate Sam Metlin. Metlin grounded out his first time up. Pitch from Ruby on the inside corner of the plate at the knees. Metlin, number 9 on his back. The pitch from Ruby. Curveball to the screen, a ball.
Let's go, Sam. Contact, buddy. Contact.
Brush just needs some base runners here. See if we can turn the lineup over here in the 8-9 hole. Get back to the top of the order. And that ball right there, Evan, is going to hit you. Almost.
Close. Whew. Really got to take cover there.
It just had the right spin. I could tell that as that goes up, we're in the bad spot. We have to take it over to the dugout. Take it over to the dugout. Take it over to the dugout. And Metlin fouls that back to the screen. That was a foul tip, sir. That was a foul tip, sir.
Well,
umpire called Metlin out on a check swing, but on the swing, it wasn't really a swing. It was a check swing, and it was fouled back to the screen.
Yeah, you could hear that one.
Ruby gets the gift. 2 outs in the inning. Schwint comes to the plate. Ruby with a strike at the knees to Schwint. See if Caden can get the lineup turned over here like Brush did the other day. Pitch from Ruby to the 9-hole hitter for the Brush Beat Diggers. Caden Schwint, a strike. Behind in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Ruby working quickly. Curveball outside. Ruby running off the mound. I always hated that when players would do that. And
get called back.
Anyway, gets called back to the mound. Never ever show the umpire up. Pitch, and Ruby throws a curveball, and this time the umpire calls a strike 3. So for the Brush Beat Diggers, in the top of the 5th inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. And there were no Res Christian errors. I'm sorry, I said that. And Brush Beat Diggers 2, Res Christian Cougars 1. You're listening to Beat Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Brush Bee Diggers lead the Res Christian Cougars 2-1 as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Brush Bee Diggers 2 runs on 3 hits. Brush has committed 1 error, and they've only had 1 runner left on base. Res Christian 1 run on 3 hits, 1 error that they've committed, but they've left 5 on base. We're 1 hour and 9 minutes as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Carter Evans, leadoff hitter, comes to the plate for the Res Christian Cougars. Evans is 1 for 2 on the day. Had a single his first time up and scored, and also struck out looking his last at bat. Pitch from Moriarty fouled back to the screen.
Good start, here we go, Brush!
Moriarty comes and grabs the baseball on that third base line.
Moriarty up in the count, no balls and a strike to Carter Evans. Umpire says, hey, that ended up hitting the fence post. I'm going to take a look at it, make sure there's not an extra cut on it. Because sometimes when you have an extra cut on a baseball, you can do some fun things with those balls and make them do things that normal people can't. Anyway, Moriarty with the 0-1 pitch. Upstairs and outside. 1 ball and a strike.
Good snag there by Ty Griffith.
Moriarty and Griffith working together. Moriarty rocks and fires. Curveball took a little bit off.
Good pitch. Good
Evans
pitch,
ended
Brush.
up out on his front foot, but fouled that back to the screen. Moriarty up in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes
Come on, boys, make some plays
to
here,
the
let's go.
leadoff hitter, Carter Evans, who just about leads Res Christian in all their offensive categories. Erstwhile shortstop is a junior for the Cougars. The pitch from Moriarty, and that's popped up. Welland has a play on it, and the ball just, the way the wind's blowing, Welland got twisted around and wasn't able to come down with that one. That one might hurt, Evan. We definitely don't want to see Carter Evans be able to get on base, especially with nobody out.
And the first time he got on base, he went from first to home. He's got good speed factor here.
1 ball, 2 strike offering. K-Dog brings it. And 1 hop, 2 hop, and past Shelton to left. Schwint picks it up and gets the ball back into Shelton. So Carter Evans with a leadoff single in the bottom of the 5th inning. All 5 innings, Res Christian Cougars have had base runners. Comes to the plate, Luke Ruby, the pitcher.
Hey, watch the ball. Go, Brush, here we go now.
For Res Christian, Caden Moriarty from the stretch. Strike. Nope. Umpire called that a ball.
Low there.
Sometimes you get this far into the game, you can kind of start picking out what the ump's going to call. And I missed on that one. 1 ball, no strikes to Luke Ruby, and Evans with a good lead. Moriarty over to first base in order to keep him close.
Here we go, Brush.
I would say that Evans has good wheels over there, 6 stolen bases and 6 ball games. The pitch from Moriarty, and Griffith picks the ball
Ooh, good stop
out of the
there by
dirt
Braxton
and
Shelton.
throws it down to second, but Evans has the stolen base.
He is fast. Braxton Shelton on the back up there. The shortstop for the Beaters had to jump up and grab the ball. Good job there. Didn't let it go
Go,
into
Brush.
center field.
2 balls, no strikes to the batter, Ruby. Evans leads off at second base, nobody out for the Cougars. Good scoring opportunity for the Cougars. That ball is fouled back and out of play. 2 balls and a strike to Luke Ruby. Ruby is 0 for 2 on the day, flew out and also struck out looking. K-Dog from the stretch, and the pitch upstairs, a ball. 3 balls and a strike to Ruby. Rush doesn't want to get themselves into too much of a fix here. Get 2 runners on base with nobody out. That would not be good, Evan.
That would not be good. Even to tie up this game would be.
Evans leads off from second. The pitch from K-Dog upstairs, ball 4. Ruby takes first base, so we've got runners at first and second for the Res Christian Cougars. Coach Tom Odell is going to go to the mound in order to just, talk to his pitcher. That Moriarty's thrown 73 pitches at this point, 42 strikes. I think here it's just a matter of, I just need to settle you down and make sure that we take care of what we need to in the infield. If we can get a double play, that'd be ideal. Even if the runner moves up to third base, we can get the double. Tailor-made double play, 6-4-3. That'd work great.
Western Engineering Consultants. Engineering and consulting services for all your projects. Strong commitment to their clients' needs set them apart. Get your project started the right way with Western Engineering Consultants.
So we head back to action as Coach Odell works his way back to the dugout. Set the field for you, Res Christian Cougars. Runners at first and second in Ward and Evans. And to the plate is, Ruby and Evans, first and second. And coming to the plate is Ryan Ward. Ward had the RBI double for the Cougars in the first inning. Moriarty from the stretch, and the pitch, and stolen base by Evans to third base. Griffith had a good throw from home to third, and Hondo puts the tag on, but the runner is safe. So runners at the corners, nobody out. Pitch was a ball, 1 ball, no strikes to Ryan Ward. Seems like the wind has picked up a little bit more. We still have blue skies overhead. And Ward gets the strike, and as he tries to bunt the ball, and as he does, Ruby takes off for second, and Griffith throws him out on the attempted steal.
It's hard to run on Griffith. I mean, even there, you really got him.
So Res Christian helps Brush out by giving them an out. So 1 out, runner at third, and Carter Evans. Ryan Ward with a 1-1 count. Moriarty, the stretch and the pitch. Low, in the dirt. 2 balls and a strike to Ryan Ward. Moriarty, as Coach Odell went out and talked to him, 76 pitches at this point. Moriarty looks into Griffith from the full windup and in the dirt. 3 balls and a strike.
Got to get a new baseball.
Caden didn't
like the feel of that one.
Caden didn't like that one. Of course, I think he threw 3 balls with it. So hey, let's get rid of that one. Give me a new ball. 3-1. Evans at third. 1 out for the Res Christian Cougars. In the bottom of the 5th inning, the pitch from Moriarty, base on ball to Ryan Ward. So runners at the corners again with 1 out. Brush just
Next up for the Cougars, number 20,
playing with
Deegan Corrigan.
fire here. We don't really need fire on a windy day,
No,
Evan.
we don't. Would not be good. Not be a fun time for anyone.
Deegan Corrigan, who was leading the Cougars in batting average coming into this game, is 0 for 2 on the day. Struck out by looking and flew out. And there, Corrigan hits the ball to straightaway center field, and that ball is gone. 3-run home run by Deegan Corrigan. That's the first home run for Corrigan. And he hit that a ton, and it was up in the wind, and it sailed right out of here. So Res Christian takes a 4-2 lead in the bottom of the 5th inning. That was the 79th pitch by Moriarty. Pitch was low, and Corrigan went down and got it. And when he hit it, he got the ball up in the air, and Hinojos in center field went back, and then he ran out of room. I mean, the ball just carried the way the wind is blowing.
Oh, yeah.
Which is blowing straight away center field. So coming to the plate is Brady Flood. 1 for 2 on the day. I think Moriarty had a little bit extra on that pitch, a strike at the letters. Bottom of the 5th, Res Christian Cougars 4, Brush Beet Diggers 2. The pitch from Moriarty, a strike. I think this kind of got Moriarty's ire going.
Oh, yeah.
1 out. Flood the batter, Moriarty the pitcher, and fouls that down the third base line. Foul. Count remains, no balls, 2 strikes. Moriarty rocks and fires. Upstairs, ball 1. Ball and 2 strikes to Brady Flood.
That's some tumbleweeds going on.
Pitch from Moriarty. Strike. Nope.
Outside.
Ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Must just been just below the zone, right below the knees. Moriarty, the 2-2 pitch, 1 out. The offering. Curveball outside, full count. Payoff pitch, and that's fouled up and back. And Evan, we're okay. It's not going to hit us. Okay.
That car was very lucky. It bounced right over it.
They're sitting in there, and there's not a thing you can do when you're sitting inside a car. Pitch from Moriarty, a ball. Ball 4.
Tom coming out, talking with Moriarty again.
Well, this is the second mound visit this inning, so we'll be making a pitching change.
Yes, we will.
So, Res Christian 4, Brush Beet Diggers 2. You're listening to Beet Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and Eastern Plains Sports Network. We're back to Res Christian High School in Loveland, Colorado. Res with a 4-2 lead over the Brush Beet Diggers in the bottom of the 5th inning. Res a 3-run home run here in the inning a little bit earlier, and Brush just made the change. The pitching change is brought to you by State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, Greg Mullen and his team are there to make the insurance world easy for you. Call them today at 842-4555. And as we break down the changes, Jace Krieger comes in to pitch. Caden Moriarty goes to center field. Cesar Hinojos comes to third base. And Alejandro Maltos Garcia goes to left field. So we'll make that change. And coming to the plate for Res Christian with 1 out and a runner at first base is Carter Cybers. Cybers is grounded out, struck out swinging, 0 for 2 on the day. Brady Flood, first base via the walk. Krieger and Griffith work together. Krieger on the rubber, peers in, and the pitch low, and the ball skips to the screen to the left. Wild pitch, and Brady Flood moves up to second base.
No throw there by Ty Griffith.
So Flood at second. Krieger, the pitcher, on the hill. Cybers, the batter. 1 ball, no strikes. Pitch. And swung on and missed by Siebers. Have I called him Siebers or Cybers?
Cybers.
I don't know why I called him Siebers that last time. Cybers with a 1-1 count. Krieger from the stretch, the offering. And Cybers bunts the ball to third base and has an infield single. And Brady Flood moved up to third base.
Up for the Cougars is number 14, Easton Vecchio.
Easton Vecchio up for the Cougars here with the runners on first and third.
1 out. Smart play. Novo's been playing center field and probably played a little bit deep there, not expecting a bunt. And Cybers had plenty of room with a 5, 6, 7 step lead at first base. You've got to go over there, and we'll get him in a rundown, and he's going to be safe there, and now we're going to be safe at home. That's just playing uncharacteristic baseball, as Cybers had about a 7-step lead.
Gave that one up. What happened?
Yep. So stolen base by Cybers, and then Brady Flood was able to score on the throw. So Res Christian takes a 5-2 lead in the 5th inning, bottom of the 5th inning. Coming to the plate is Easton Vecchio. Curveball by Krieger, a strike at the knees. 1 ball, 1 strike to Vecchio. That was just uncharacteristic. I mean, you could see that Cybers had a huge lead. And it's kind of like, just step off and just look at him. You know, I mean, figure out what you're going to do with him. Vecchio fouls that back on the bunt attempt to the screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Vecchio, 0 for 2 on the day. He was aboard last at bat as he hit the ball to Maltos Garcia at third base, and Maltos Garcia clanged off his glove and made the error. Pitch from Krieger upstairs.
Good stop
ball,
there by
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah.
Just uncharacteristic baseball here for the Brush Beat Diggers here in Loveland today at Res Christian High School. 5-2, Res Christian leads the Diggers. And the pitch from Krieger, a little bit upstairs, a little bit outside. Full count. Vecchio digs in at the plate, payoff pitch, and it came off the end of his bat, and Griffith picks it up, throws over to first to Rowan for the out, and Cybers moved up to third. That was strange because that came off the knob of the bat.
Yeah, never seen that one before.
Well, it doesn't happen often that you would end up having that play, but that's exactly what happened. So there's 2 outs in the inning. Okay. Coach Magaro for Res Christian is going to pinch hit.
Number 22
for
Christian Seimer.
Bennett Ruby. And Simers will come to the plate, but then Ruby will come back into the game behind the plate. So let's put Simer in order to be able to hit.
Bigger kid here.
2 outs, runner at third, and Carter Cyber, Christian Simer at the plate, and he fouls that into the Brush dugout. Res Christian scored 4 runs in this inning, 3 runs on the blast by Deegan Corrigan. Pitch from Krieger, took a little off and was a ball. I always like pitching against the wind because you can make your ball cut and work and do different things that you couldn't do when the wind wasn't blowing. The pitch from Krieger upstairs, 2 balls and a strike. Runner at third, 4 runs in for Res Christian in the bottom of the 5th inning. Krieger to Griffith. Krieger hits the ball out to second base, over Metlin, over to Welland for the out. Just 1 second, and let me get this into the books, and we're good here. So Res Christian scored 4 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and they have 6 runners left on base. So after 5 complete innings, Res Christian Cougars 5, Buck Bee Diggers 2. You're listening to Bee Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. In Loveland, Buck Bee Digger Baseball, Res Christian Cougars have the 5-2 lead over your Diggers. Here as we go to the top of the 6th inning, the top of the order for the Diggers, coming to the plate, Ty Griffith. Ty without a hit today at this point, 0 for 2, which is unusual. We'll see what Ty does against Luke Ruby as we go to the top of the 6th inning. Ruby sitting on 79 pitches, 49 of them strikes, as we're an hour and 32 minutes
Up for
into
the
this
Beat
game.
Diggers, number 10.
Slowed down a little bit that last inning because Rez ended up having a number of base runners. Ruby from the first base side of the rubber throws a ball to Ty Griffith.
Comes to us instead.
Ruby, the pitch, and Griffith, there's a bullet out to left center field. That ball's going to go to the fence. Griffith rounds first, goes to second, and comes in with a stand-up double. Now our leadoff hitter, our good junior hitter, is 1 for 3 on the day. Base hit. That was a solid single, Evan.
That
Next up for
was
the Beat Diggers,
a shot.
Kyle Welland.
Placed there. It looks like who's running for him? Dominic Ontiveros, the junior, is running for Ty Griffith, and Kyle Welland is up to bat.
So that would be a courtesy runner for the catcher. So Dom is on base at second. Welland comes to the bat, and Ruby, curveball in the dirt, blocked by Ruby, the catcher, and it stayed in front of him for the most part, and Ontiveros did not advance. 1 ball, no strike to number 13, Kyle Welland. The offering, pitch at the knees on the outside corner, a strike. A ball and a strike to Kyle Welland. Brush is going to have to chip away in order to be able to get back into this game. Strike from Ruby to Ruby on the outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. One thing that Luke Ruby on the mound does is he does work quickly. He stepped off there as Welland steps out. Takes a moment. Ruby back to the first base side of the rubber, gets the sign and the pitch, and Welland fouls that at the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Kyle Welland. Welland 1 for 2 on the day. Single his last at bat. That was down the right field line in order to be able to bring in the run. And Welland hits the ball out to center field, and the center fielder comes in and squeezes the ball. That ball did not get up in the air like Corrigan's ball to where it just kept sailing and sailing and sailing. But that ball went straight to Brady Flood for the out.
Up for the Beat Diggers,
Actually,
number
coming on
18,
that
Braxton Shelton.
Brax Shelton comes to the plate. Ruby's sitting at 86 pitches. Shelton, his last at bat,
Gets automatically walked.
his last at bat hit a home run, a blast to left field, and with first base being open, Shelton is given the intentional walk.
Up to bat,
So
number
Brush
22.
has runners at first and second.
Cesar Henijos.
And Ojos comes to the plate. 0-2 on the day, grounded out and struck out swinging. So 1 out for the Diggers. Runners at first and second. Ontiveros with a very short lead. Strike at the knees on the inside corner. Luke Ruby working quickly. Ontiveros leads off from second. The pitch to Hinojos. Hinojos hit the ball off the first baseman. And Hinojos runs and gets through to the bag. That was an error on the first baseman. And so the bases are loaded for the Brush Speed Diggers.
And here comes Caden
Next up for the
Moriarty.
Diggers, number 20, Caden Moriarty.
That was hit hard, and that came off the first baseman's glove. So with 88 pitches, Coach Magaro comes out to talk to his number 27, Luke Ruby, in order to say, how much more do you have in the gas? We got bases loaded. We got a 5-2 lead. We're in the top of the 6th inning. But I think, let's see what Coach Magaro does here. And coming to the plate for the Diggers is going to be Caden Moriarty. Moriarty's hit a double already. Been on base both times as he hit the double, and then he also got hit by a pitch as a backdoor slider come in and hit him on the toe. We are going to have a pitching change as Coach Magaro is going to put number
Pitching change
26
for the Cougars, number
onto the
26,
hill for
Vaughn Green.
Vaughn Green.
Vaughn Green will be the pitcher. Okay, so let's take a break here. The action with the Brush Bee Diggers, bases loaded with 1 out. Rest Christian 5, Brush Bee Diggers 2. You're listening to Bee Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Pitching change for the Res Christian Cougars in top of the 6th inning. Bases are loaded. Vaughn Green comes in to pitch, lefty for the Res Christian Cougars. Luke Ruby goes over to third base. Caden Moriarty comes to the plate. Bases are loaded, 1 out. And first pitch from Vaughn Green is low for a ball.
He's got some speed behind him there.
Vaughn Green has a 2.42 ERA. He's had the most work. First pitch. Second pitch from Ruby, a ball to Moriarty. Vaughn Green has a 2.42 ERA. He's pitched 17 and a third innings. He has a 3-1 record. And Moriarty hits the ball in the gap, a shortstop, and the ball goes to the left fielder. Brush scores a run.
Great hit there by Caden Moriarty, getting the Beat Diggers
Moriarty
a run.
gets the base hit and the RBI.
Up for the Beat Diggers, Ivan Cardenas.
So the bases remain loaded. Ivan Cardenas comes to the plate. 0-2 on the day. Vaughn Green greeted with an RBI single by Moriarty. Cardenas fouls the ball to the screen. Braxton Shelton at third. Cesar Hinojos at second. Caden Moriarty at first. Cardenas, the hitter, the pitch.
Good on,
The ball outside.
Good on, bud. Good
The
on,
ball
Sam.
comes off Bennett Ruby's
Here we go,
glove,
Brush. Come on now, boys.
but nobody advanced. Ball and a strike to Yvonne. One thing I like about Yvonne is he chokes up on the bat, shortens things up, and see if he puts a ball in play, the pitch. And Vaughn Green took a little bit off that pitch, and Cardenas swung through it. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Yvonne. Green looks in for the sign and the pitch. Cardenas pops that up. Infield fly, if fair. And Ruby comes in from third base and catches the ball anyway. But infield fly, so the batter is going to be out regardless. So 2 outs in the inning.
Except for the Beat Diggers. Number 12.
Rushes through that run
Garcia.
to narrow the gap to 5-3 on the RBI from Moriarty. 2 outs. Alejandro Matos Garcia comes to the plate. The pitch from Green upstairs, the ball.
Here we got 12.
Green and Ruby. Bennett Ruby, the catcher, the pitch from Green. And Matos Garcia fouls that back and to the right. Lon Green into the game. He's been the most worked pitcher for Res Christian to date. Pitch to Hondo low, 2 balls and a strike. See if Hondo can put the ball in play, and a base hit to the outfield would score 2 and tie this game up. The pitch from Green and a ball, 3 balls and 1 strike to Alejandro Matos Garcia.
I think he's going to go for fastball here.
Fastball indeed. Strike. Full count. Payoff pitch will be coming from Green to Hondo. Green looks in for the sign, the payoff pitch, the offering, and Matos Garcia hits the ball, and that ball is gone. Grand slam for Alejandro Matos Garcia. Rusty Diggers in one swing take the lead back from the Res Christian Cougars, 7-5 on the grand slam by Alejandro Matos Garcia.
Huge hit there.
Wow.
And right there, it's game time. Back
Very
in it.
good. Brush has scored 5 runs in the top of the 6th inning against the Res Christian Cougars.
That can't feel good here for Vaughn Green coming to the game and having someone hit a grand slam off of you. That really demoralizes somebody, and you can tell he's not great about it.
Back to the Beat Diggers. Number 9. Sam Metlin.
And so Sam Metlin comes up to bat here for the Beat Diggers.
The bases are empty. And Brush with a 7-5 lead in the top of the 6th inning against the Res Christian Cougars. The pitch from Green to Metlin upstairs, a ball. Hondo put a charge in that ball. As that ball came off his bat, it just sailed. And that was another one that wind aided. Yes, I agree. But Corrigan hit one, Braxton hit one for Brush, Hondo hit one. The wind is going to help out, and definitely on a day like today. Metlin grounds the ball towards third base. Ruby throws over to first, and first baseman was off the bag, and Metlin is safe at first.
Great job there by Sam Metlin, hustling down the base and getting to first base before the first baseman came down with it.
Ruby made a nice play at third. I mean, the ball was hit, topped, and he picked it up at the edge of the grass in the dirt, one hand, and threw over to the first baseman, Deegan Corrigan, and Corrigan had to go up in order to be able to try to grab the ball. And he was off the bag, and Metlin was able to get on first base with an infield single.
MCC is here to make your dreams become a reality for both traditional and non-traditional students. Check them out today at morgancc.edu.
Coach Magaro came out and talked to the base umpire and voiced his argument, and base umpire talked with Magaro. After that, Magaro came back towards the dugout. Base umpire came and talked to the home plate umpire, just as they should. and he gave his opinion, and the base umpire stays with the call. Safe at first for Sam Metland.
Jace Krieger hitting here for the Beet Diggers. And that lefty came right and threw to first base in with a really sneaky way that those lefties can.
So Vaughn Green, the pitch. Krieger, a strike at the letters.
Wind's starting to really pick up here.
And over to first. And the ball gets away from the first baseman, and Metland goes to second on the throwing error by the pitcher.
Well, Sam Metland was diving in. The first baseman went over him, kind of toppled right over him, and gave Sam enough time to go to second without really any chance of a throw, as the first baseman was delayed trying to get up.
Coach Odell is going to come out and talk to the base umpire and say the first baseman kept my runner from being able to advance further than second base, because he did come down on top of Sam as Sam was stretched back into the bag. I think it's an argument that Coach Odell will probably lose, but it's worthy enough in order to be able to come out just to be able to say, hey, I see what's going on the field, just want to make sure that you're aware. And the umpire says, yep, I've been watching the whole game up to this point. I haven't missed anything.
So Jace Krieger here for the Beet Diggers senior.
Vaughn Green, the pitch to Krieger. Upstairs, the ball. 1 ball, 1 strike to Jace. Pitcher on the hill. And at this point, pitcher of record. If Rush holds on to this lead, Krieger would get the win. Vaughn Green, the pitch. And Krieger calls that back to the screen.
Defensive swing there, as it was in on his hands.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Krieger. Evan, I like where we're sitting. The wind is keeping us from really being cold. But I know you haven't made fun of me too bad, but I do have my winter coveralls on today in order to stay warm. Pitch from Green. Hits Krieger on the hip, and Krieger will go to first base. And a hit by pitch. Metland was off with the pitch, but he'll have to go back to second because that's dead ball.
That'll bring up Ty Griffith, the top of the order here for the Beet Diggers, and there's a pinch runner.
Courtesy
runner, excuse me, for Krieger in the form of Caden Lefevre. And they're going to go to a meeting on the mound here for the Cougars, which means Premier Farm Credit understands production ag and has been serving our rural communities for over 100 years, with locations in Sterling, Fort Morgan, Yuma, and Holyoke.
Looks like we'll be doing a pitching change as Vaughn Green has come in and threw gas on the whole setup for the Brush Beet Diggers, and they've been able to score enough runs to take the lead in the top half of the 6th inning. Looks like number 12 is going to be coming in to pitch for Res Christian. Looks like Green is out of the game, and so let's take a minute break while number 12 gets his warm-up tosses in here. You're listening to Beet Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and Eastern Plains Sports Network. We're back to Res Christian High School in Loveland, Colorado. We have a pitching change. Ryan Ward, the right fielder, comes in to pitch for the Res Christian Eagles in the top half of the 6th inning. Kevin, do you see who's in right field?
Really, I didn't see you.
Okay, we might just have to go without a right fielder right now, even though there's one out there. We just don't know who it is. Coming to the plate is the top of the order, Ty Griffith. Runner at first.
Second.
First and second. Metland at second. Taking the fever at first. And Ty Griffith at the plate. First pitch to Ty Griffith, the ball. 2 outs in the inning. 5 runs for the Brush Beet Diggers. First pitch first strike to Ty Griffith. Evens account at 1 ball and 1 strike. Ty started this all off this inning by a solid single to left field. And the pitch from Ward upstairs, a ball, 2 balls and a strike to Ty Griffith. Boy, we get to the bullpen and good things happen for Brush. Griffith pops that up. It's in fair play. The second baseman is out in order to catch it. That ball's going to drop for a single and an RBI as Metlin comes around from second to score. And Lefevre goes from first to third. And Griffith is on at first. Single on to Harris, comes on as a courtesy runner.
Dominic Ontiveros, the junior, coming in as the courtesy runner here for Ty Griffith.
That was a wind-aided base hit, and Kyle Wellen comes to the plate. So Brush tacks another run on in this inning, 6 runs in this inning alone, to take an 8-5 lead. And Wellen hits a ball out 1 hop to Ruby over to Corrigan for the out, and Brush Diggers are out of the inning as Wellen grounds out. So Brush, on the strength of a grand slam by Alejandro Maltos Garcia, scores 6 in the 6th inning to take an 8-5 lead over the Res Christian Cougars. You're listening to Blue Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and Eastern Plains Sports Network. Brush Diggers 8, Res Christian Cougars 5 as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. We have a pitching change for the Brush defense. Our Hinojos comes to the hill.
He's going to finish this out here.
Chase Peter moves to left field, and Alejandro Maltos Garcia comes back to third base. So for Hinojos, he'll be facing the 7, 8, 9 hitters. I'm sorry, the 9th, and then the top of the order. Peyton Bailey, who wears number 7 on his back. That was messing me up all day.
A bit confusing.
Peyton Bailey comes to the plate. Hinojos on the season with a 1.52 ERA. Hinojos has thrown well, and it's good to see him on the hill and see what he can do in
Leading
the
off to the
6th
Cougars,
and
number
7th inning to be able to close
Caden Bailey.
this game out.
So Caden Bailey up for the Resurrection Christian Cougars.
Bailey 0 for 1 officially on his game. Struck out his last bat looking. Before that, he was hit by a pitch. So he's been on base 1 out of 2 times. Hinojos, pitch, a ball. One ball, no strike to Caden Bailey. Ball 2.
On the inside of the curveball. And the glove comes on for Kevin Fergus.
We're going to have to do this, Evan. Boy, I'm glad I have my coveralls on. Pitch from Hinojos, swung at weakly by the hitter, Caden Bailey. Swung through it. 2 balls and a strike. Pitch. Upstairs, the ball. 3 balls and a strike to Bailey.
Got to get that release point. Everything so far has kind of been on the inside half. So gotta further that release point there to get it right where you want.
Payoff 3-1 pitch, grounded 3 times to Shelton at short, over to Wellen at first for the out.
Next up for the Cougars,
Top of the
number 6,
order
Carter
comes to
Evans.
the plate. Carter Evans. Evans 2 for 3 on the day. Singled twice, but he struck out looking in between all that. Seems like Carter Evans is their trigger man, that whatever he does makes this team go. Pitch from Hinojos. low and in the dirt to the screen. 1 ball, no strikes.
Took a good hop off of the turf there.
Evan, I do have other jackets in the field. Ball fouled down the third baseline.
All that.
Ball and a strike to Carter Evans.
We're towards the end here, so
I know,
tough it out.
we can see the end. We can see the end, but to get there might be kind of cold. Ball hit by Evans out to center field. Plenty of room for Moriarty in order to be able to pull that ball in for the out.
Next up for the Cougars, number 27, Luke Ruby.
2 outs in the inning. Luke Ruby comes to the plate. Ruby 0 for 2 on the day. He walked his last at bat, but before that he flew out, struck out looking. Moriarty was cruising right along, and then he gave up that long fly ball to Deegan Corrigan. Liz Christian took a 5-2 lead in the bottom of the 5th inning, but the Beat Diggers scored 6 runs in the top of the 6th inning. Strike from Hinojos.
Man, really got him on that one.
Pulled a string on that one, and 1 ball, 1 strike to Ruby. Pitch is low. Griffith pulls that out of the dirt. I call it the dirt because that's always what it is. I mean, it's out of the synthetic, Evan. Pitch, grounded, 1 hop back to Hinojos. Underhands it to Wellen at first. For the first time this inning, Brush Beat Diggers got the Res Christian Eagles out in order without a base runner. So after 6 complete innings of play, Brush Beat Diggers 8, Res Christian Cougars 5. You're listening to Beat Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Brush Beat Diggers come to the plate in the top of the 7th inning. Braxton Shelton will lead off against Ryan Ward. Brush with a 6-run 6th inning to take a 8-5 lead over the Res Christian Cougars.
Would be a big win here against the Res Christian Cougars.
Well, the way the game was going, the way Luke Ruby was pitching against the Diggers, they only had 3 hits against Ruby until they were able to, touch him up a little bit. And I think they got the 4th hit and the 5th hit, and then a walk, and then after that, then they brought in Von Green and poured gas on the whole fire, and Rush was able to have a huge inning in the top of the 6th. Here we are at the top of the 7th inning. Braxton Shelton comes to the plate, 1 for 2 on the day. He was intentionally walked his last at bat and then scored on the Alejandro Maltos Garcia grand slam. So Braxton 1 for 2 on the day. Ryan Ward on the hill for the Cougars. The pitch, strike at the letters. Nothing special that Ward does, but he has been working well for Res up to this point in the season. That was a ball outside, curveball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike to Braxton Shelton. The pitch, and Braxton fouls that back to the screen. Almost comes back and tags the umpire, but not quite. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Braxton looking to extend the Beat Digger lead here.
Wouldn't that be something? Anyway, Ryan Ward with the pitch. The offering, outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The offering, and Braxton Shelton fouls that back and into the parking lot. I didn't hear it hit a car.
That's always good.
And I know we parked far enough away that shouldn't happen, but I figured with the wind blowing the way it is today, that parking lot's going to be safe.
Yeah.
But we had to watch where we were doing because that one ball almost got us. A pitch from Ward, low, in the dirt. Full count to Braxton Shelton. 8-5 lead for the Brush Beet Diggers in the top of the 7th inning. See if Brush can get some insurance runs here in this inning before they face the Res Christian Cougars. The ball hit down the line by Shelton. A double. Nope. The left fielder cut that ball off and got it back into Carter Evans quickly. Hayden Bailey had an athletic play to be able to corral that ball and get it into Evans. And Shelton just with a single. Nonetheless, Shelton 2 for 3 on the day. Cesar Hinojos 0 for 3 on the day. Grounded out, struck out, reached base on an error by the first baseman. Shelton draws the throw from the pitcher. Safe as he slides back in on his belly. Ryan Ward, the offering, Shelton, the lead, curveball, strike to Hinojos. Number 22 in this year, 2022. Pitch from Ward to Hinojos, and Hinojos pops that up down the first baseline, foul, but Corrigan slides over about 4 feet and corrals that and squeezes the glove for the out.
Next up for the Beet Diggers, number 20,
Shelton
Caden
stays at
Moriarty.
first. 1 out in the inning. Comes to the plate, Caden Moriarty. Moriarty 2 for 2, a double. Hit by pitch and a single. He's been on base all 3 times today. Good day by Moriarty. Moriarty fouls that back up and over. And did it make
No, it missed the school.
the wind kept it from hitting the school. Okay, I thought it was going to get on the roof of the school.
On a normal day it would. But today, it said no.
Ryan Ward from the stretch. Pitch outside to Caden Moriarty, a ball and a strike to number 20. And the throw from Ward over to Corrigan, almost crossed Corrigan up,
Yeah.
and if that ball would have gone to the screen, I'm sure Shelton would have at least got second. Shelton didn't have much of a lead, and I'm not sure why Ward was going over there. The ball hit by Moriarty straight out to center field, 1 out, and the ball goes back, and then the ball bounces over the fence for a ground rule double. So Moriarty with the ground rule double,
Runners
and Shelton moves up to third base.
Yeah, runners on second and third now.
I think when that ball was hit, Evan, that the center fielder had a beat on it,
After the Beet
but
Diggers, number 6.
it just kept carrying, and there wasn't much else that he could do, and then the ball hit the hard ground and bounced up and over the fence. So runners at second and third, 1 out. Devon Cardenas 0 for 3 on the day. See if he can get some insurance runs for the Diggers here in the top of the 7th inning. The pitch from Ward, and Cardenas hits the ball a mile high, and it's in no man's land, and Shelton comes in to score, and the ball was hit between the third baseman, the shortstop, and the left fielder for a single, and Shelton comes in and scores. Not much
For the Beet Diggers,
that
number
you can
12.
do with that.
No.
I mean, with the way the wind's blowing and everything else, and
Couldn't really get to it.
Hinojos stayed at second, and Cardenas on base with his first hit of the day. Pitch to Alejandro, a ball. So Brush scores 1 insurance run. It'd be nice to be able to get another insurance run here in the top of the 7th inning. Brush with a 9-5 lead. Hondo takes an inside fastball at the waist. 2 balls, no strikes. Pitch from Ryan Ward to Hondo. Strike at the knees, outside corner. 2 balls and a strike.
Called time by the catcher.
Rush, 9 runs on 11 hits. They've only left 3 runners on base, which is amazing, but they really didn't have many opportunities here until the 6th inning and then also here in the 7th inning, Evan.
Yeah.
2 balls and a strike to Hondo. Ryan Ward looks to Bennett Ruby for the sign, his battery mate, the pitch, and a ball inside. 3 balls and a strike. There's pitcher warming up in the Riz Christian bullpen, but I think that's probably for the JV game. Pitch from Ruby upstairs. Ball 4. Bases are loaded
For
for Sam Metlin.
Yeah.
Metlin 1 for 3 on the day. Single is last at bat, but that
Up for the
was
Beat Diggers,
one
Sam
where
Metlin,
it was
number 9.
wind aided and the ball just got up in the air and up and over the second baseman in front of the right fielder. Pitch from Ryan Ward to Sam Metlin. Swung on, missed by Metlin. Rush has Moriarty at third, Cardenas at second, Maltos Garcia at first. 2 outs. I'm sorry, 1 out. Sam Metlin at the plate, a strike at the knees. 1 ball. I'm sorry. No balls, 2 strikes to Sam Metlin. Get ahead of myself. The 0-2 pitch. Metlin fouls that off to the right side and out of play.
Good defensive swing there by Metlin.
Evan, my glove hand is nice and toasty.
What about your other hand?
It's busy, it's active. I'm doing scorebook, so we're good. The ball fouled to the screen. Metlin still down in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. Metlin battling at the plate.
That's nice and tucked into my jacket.
The offering from Ward, and it hit Metlin on the left elbow, and that'll bring in the 10th run for the Brush Beat Diggers. Metlin's trying not to rub that, but that had to hurt.
You can see he's like, oh man, goes that one. Didn't get.
So Brush,
Up for the
10
Beat
runs.
Diggers, number 32.
Riz Christian,
Jace
5 runs.
Krieger.
The wheels have just come off for Riz Christian here in the 6th and the 7th innings. They were cruising along. Brush had the 2-1 lead, but then Corrigan hit the 3-run bomb, and they scored another run that inning in the 5th in order to take a 5-2 lead. But ever since then, Brush has scored 8 runs. Swing and miss by Jace Krieger. Ryan Ward with his 30th pitch of the game. Krieger hits the ball, 2-hopper to the second baseman. Second baseman makes an error. Krieger on base, and Brush scores another run to take an 11-5 lead.
It was right in and out of his glove, went over his back, and he thought he had it in his hand, but that was not the case there for the
Up for the
second
Beat Diggers,
base.
number 10, Ty Griffith.
That was Ty Griffith here for the Beat Diggers.
Top of the order, 2 for 4 for Ty. 2 singles his last 2 times at bat. The pitch from Ward, and Griffith fouls that back into the parking lot.
Ty looking to extend the lead here. B&B Appliance and Repair, from refrigerators to vacuums and everything in between. They have exactly what you need and service it too. That pitch is in the turf there.
1 ball, 1 strike to Ty Griffith. You know, that ball that was hit to the second baseman by Metlin, the second baseman would have charged it. I think it would have been a lot better. Solid hit to right center field by Griffith. 2 runs are in. And Krieger moves up to third.
That just extends it that much more.
So that gives Brush a 13-5 lead here
Dominic
in
onto
the top of the 7th inning. And Dominic comes in as a courtesy runner. That was a solid hit to right field.
And here comes the coach for Resurrection Christian coming to meet them at the mound. The Bank of Colorado is the only bank dedicated to help you make the most of living here. They're not just a bank in Colorado, they're a bank of Colorado. Proud supporter of local sports and academics. So we'll see who's pitching here.
Cole Broccoli is going to be the pitcher for the Res Christian Eagles. Let's take a break. We'll figure out who's playing right field. We haven't known that for at least an inning. And Kyle Wellen will be coming to the plate. And let's take a 30-second break. You're listening to Beat Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. We're back to Res Christian High School in Loveland, Colorado. Brush has scored 5 runs in the top of the 7th inning to take a commanding 13-5 lead over the Res Christian Eagles. We had a pitching change. Cole Broccoli comes to the mound. Ryan Ward goes back to right field. Runners at first and third. Dominic Ontiveros at first, and he just took second base, defensive indifference, and Jace Krieger at third. So Dominic moved up to second, and Broccoli with the pitch to Wellen, a ball. And Broccoli working quickly. Another ball. 2 balls, no strikes to Kyle Wellen. Runners at second and third. 13-5 lead for the Brush Beat Diggers over the Res Christian Eagles. This game was a low-scoring game, quickly moving, and now it's kind of slogged along, and Wellen hits the ball to Carter Evans, and run scores, but Dominic Ontiveros is going to get out at third for the second out in the inning.
Oh, man. He didn't know quite what to do.
So that was a fielder's choice. The ball hit straight to Carter Evans. Evans tags the runner out, Ontiveros, but the run scores. And that puts Wellen on at first. Braxton Shelton comes to the plate, a pitch, a strike to Braxton Shelton. 2 hard hits today, a home run and a single to left field. Shelton hits a ball to the gap between third base and shortstop for a single. Shelton 3 for 4 on the day. That was more or less a seeing eye single.
Yep.
He didn't hit that as hard as he hit his first two.
Well, that's one thing we were talking about earlier is, the Beat Diggers playing this small ball is just as lethal as getting, home runs and big ball.
Brush with a 14-5 lead here in the top of the 7th inning. Cole Broccoli, the pitcher, and throws a low to Cesar Hinojos. Brush has scored 12 runs in the last 2 innings, Evan.
That's fantastic numbers.
Pitch from Broccoli upstairs to Hinojos. Pitch from Broccoli, low. 3 balls, no strikes to Cesar Hinojos. Hinojos 0 for 4 on the day, but he's on the hill right now for the Diggers when they come back out in the bottom of the 7th inning. Pitch to Hinojos, a strike. 3 balls and a strike. Pitch from Broccoli, inside, ball 4. Hinojos takes first base. Loading the bases once again.
Up for the beat diggers.
This time
number
for
20,
Caden Moriarty. Courtesy runner for the pitcher. Caden Lefevre comes in for Cesar Hinojos. Boy, this will set everything up for Thursday
Oh, yeah.
to where I'm not sure pitching-wise as to who Res Christian's going to have left. Pitch from Broccoli to Moriarty, a ball. The offering. Moriarty hits the ball to center field, left center field. That's going to score 1 run, 2 runs, 3 runs. Moriarty with a double. Moriarty with a 3-run double. Just adding to the lead for the Brush Beat Diggers. 17-5.
Now over 10.
Ivan
It doesn't really matter
Cardenas.
here now that we're
Oh,
in the
yeah,
7th
no.
inning and that we're the visiting team. We could score another 5 more runs, and it really wouldn't matter. You know, we just add to the total. The pitch from Broccoli to Cardenas fouled off to the screen. Brush has scored 15 runs on 10 hits in the last 2 innings. Res Christian's had a few errors in that mix. Pitch from Broccoli to Cardenas, a ball in the dirt. Moriarty leads off from second base. Broccoli from the first base side of the rubber. And Cardenas hits the ball, seeing eye, past the shortstop, Evans, to left field. And Moriarty holds up at third base. Cardenas on with a single. Cardenas 2 for 5 on the day.
Up for the beat diggers. Number 12, Alejandro Maltos Garcia.
Runners at the corners for Alejandro Maltos Garcia. 1 for 3 with a grand slam home run.
Let's go, Hondo.
Pitch from Broccoli. Strike to Hondo. Rush line score 17 runs on 15 hits. Pitch from Broccoli to Hondo. A strike at the knees. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the inning. I'm not sure what the Cougars will do in the bottom of the 7th inning. Hondo hit the ball hard again, and that ball is a 3-run home run. Wow!
Just extended that even further.
Can I just say, wow? Hondo has 2 home runs on the day, 7 RBIs.
You just heard that one. You're like, oh, that's gone. There's no question about it. It was driven out of here on a dime.
The left fielder just turned and just basically watched that one.
Yeah.
You could just see that's what happened. Brush has scored 18 runs in the last 2 innings on 12 hits. 16 hits on the day. Metland comes to the plate with the bases cleared, 2 outs. Metland hits the ball out to left field, and that left fielder misplays it, and Metland has a double. I think the wind might have took that ball and turned it about 3 ways to Sunday to give Metland the double. Jace Krieger comes to the plate, 0 for 1. Hit by pitch and on via the air, and that fouled off at the plate. Fouled off right at the plate and bounced up and hit Krieger right in the thigh. Metland leads off from second. Broccoli the pitch. Strike to Krieger. 2 hours and 25 minutes is our game time at this point. Krieger down in the count, no balls, 2 strikes. Pitch from Bercoli. I'm going to say this correctly. In the synthetic turf to the catcher. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jace Krieger. Bercoli's pitch out of the zone. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Jace Krieger. Bercoli's pitch. Krieger hits the ball to straightaway center field. Metlin will round third and score. Krieger going to second and stand-up double for Krieger.
Now 21-5.
Brush just can't find an out. All they do is just keep getting hit after hit after
Ty
hit.
Griffith.
Brush 21, Res Christian 5. Ty Griffith 3 for 5 on the day, 3 singles, his last 3 at bats. Comes to the plate, the ball in the dirt and thrown down from Bennett Ruby to the third baseman Luke Ruby, and they tag Krieger out at third for the 3rd out.
They found that 3rd out.
So we do this. Brush Beat Digger baseball. Brush leads Res Christian after 6.5 innings of play. Brush 21, Res Christian 5. You're listening to Beat Digger baseball on 1010 KSIR and Eastern Plains Sports Network. Welcome back to Blue Sky in Loveland, Colorado at Res Christian High School in a game that was moving along rather quickly and Brush with a 2-1 lead. Ever since the 5th inning, Res Christian scored 4 in the bottom of the 5th inning, but Brush scored 19 runs, 6 in the 6th inning, 13 in the 7th inning to take a 21-5 lead as we go into the bottom of the 7th inning.
Number 12, Ryan Ward.
Cesar Hinojos is still on the hill for the 2nd inning for Brush Beat Diggers. Ryan Ward comes to the plate, and it really lends itself to an interesting discussion as we go to Thursday when Res Christian comes to Brush to play in Brush at 4 o'clock at Sunset Field. Strike from Cesar. Griffith was low in the synthetic turf. 1 ball, 1 strike. The offering swung on and missed by Ryan Ward. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And a strikeout to Hinojos. 1 out.
He's definitely doing good.
This is just the 2nd inning. Coming to the plate is Deacon Corrigan. Corrigan hits a ball, 2-hopper, 3 out to the outfield to Jace Krieger. Corrigan is the one that hit the 3-run bomb for Res Christian in his last at bat. Seems like that was forever ago.
Yeah.
Next up at number 4, Brady Flood.
It was a while ago, considering.
Considering Brush has scored a bunch of runs since then in order to take a lead. At that point in time, that put Res Christian ahead of Brush 4-2 after he hit that 3-run bomb, and then they added another run to take the 5-2 lead. Pitch from Hinojos, he took a lot off that, pulled the string, and Brady Flood swung through that pitch. No balls, 1 strike to Flood, 1 for 2 on the day. Pitch from Hinojos, and
Ooh, the hat comes off.
the ball was low to Griffith at the plate. Griffith picked it up, threw to Lowen at first. Lowen pretended like the ball continued down the first baseline, and the runner at first base, Deacon Corrigan, almost took the bait. swung on and missed by Brady Flood. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Flood. Corrigan at first, 1 out for the Cougars. Flood, pitch, swung on and missed. Can't go anywhere as the ball sticks in the synthetic turf for the
Back to the
strikeout.
Cougars, number 9. Carter Seavers.
2 outs. Runner at first. Carter Seibers comes to the plate. 1 for 3 on the day.
And this is the one. Here, Kevin, this is the one he needs.
No host from the stretch to the plate. The ball. Ball rolls away from Ty Griffith. The umpire started to stop it with his foot, realized, hey, that's a live ball. I cannot do that. Almost tripped over the ball. The pitch from No Host swung on and fell back to the screen. Evan, we have the best spot here, but
I agree.
the sun is getting lower and lower off to the west,
It's starting to get
and
colder.
it's getting colder and colder as we go. Seibers hits the ball out to right field, and the ball drops between the center field, the right field, and the second baseman. And Seibers with a double, and Corrigan moves up to third base. The ball was just out in no man's land, and Seibers just kept running and running and running,
Back
and
to
he
the
gets to
Cougars, number
second.
19. Culver Cole.
So Res Christian, 2 runners at second and third, 2 outs, and coming to the plate is Easton Vecchio. Fouls that back over the screen and to the parking lot. I think that was over by where the activity bus for brush is. The pitch from Hinojos upstairs, a ball. One ball, 1 strike to Vecchio. Pitch, low and in the synthetic turf. See, I'm getting that. I'm
Yeah,
getting
you're
it.
starting to get it. Yeah.
It's hard to say, synthetic turf. It's just the circle right around home plate. The pitch from Hinojos. Grounded to Maltos Garcia at third, and an infield single.
To the plate, number 5. Bennett
The
Ruby.
ball was hit softly towards Maltos Garcia.
I don't know if he's hitting or not. I guess. Started walking back.
And Garcia did get the ball to where he threw it towards first, but not in time. So Easton Vecchio on at first with a single. Rez scores a run in the bottom of the 7th inning against Cesar Hinojos. Runners at the corner, Seibers at third, Vecchio at first. Seimer at the plate. First pitch to him was upstairs, a ball. 2 outs in the inning. Seimers, oh, I'm sorry. It's not Seimers, it's back to Bennett Ruby. Bennett Ruby is back to hitting again.
Come on, Ben.
Okay. So Ruby, 1 ball, 1 strike, fouled off to the right side. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Bennett Ruby. The score is Brush 21, Res Christian 6. Cesar Hinojos with a 1-2 pitch, and Ruby hits the ball down the right field line, and that is fair, and that's going to score a run. And Vecchio goes to third, and Ruby stays at first for a single. That was a seam I
Next up
pop
for the
up
Cougars,
down the
number
first
7,
baseline.
Caden Bailey.
Not much you could do with that.
Yeah. Went the other way. It worked out
I
for
think
him.
it would have gone foul if it would have, the wind wouldn't have been blowing. But the wind pushing from the west kept that ball fair. First pitch is a strike to Caden Bailey.
Same with the second there.
And the second pitch, a strike to Caden Bailey. No balls, 2 strikes to Bailey. In the synthetic turf, a ball. Griffith does a nice job of picking that up. You're going to get true hops out of that synthetic turf. Home plate area. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And swung on and missed for the strikeout and the game. Brush Beet Diggers win the game 21-7 over the Res Christian Cougars. We'll take a short break and then we'll be back. You're listening to Beet Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. We're going to do the game recap as we go through the score for the game. Brush Beet Diggers beat the Res Christian Cougars 21-7. A football score. Brush wins by 2 touchdowns, but it was a close game as everything started out in the first 4 innings. First 4.5 innings, it was 2-1. Braxton Shelton had hit a home run in order to give Brush the 2-1 lead. And then in the bottom of the 5th inning, Deegan Corrigan hit a 3-run bomb in order to put Res Christian on top of the score, and then they scored another run in the bottom of the 5th inning, and they took a 5-2 lead. But in the 6th and the 7th inning, all Brush could do against the pitching for Res Christian after they took out Luke Ruby was to score, and then score again. A number of Brush hitters had base hits as they were able to finish off the Cougars. Alejandro Maltos Garcia had 2 home runs, 1 a grand slam, another a 3-run blast in order to give Brush Beet Diggers the game. Brush line score, 21 runs, I'm getting cold here, Evan. 21 runs, 18 hits. Brush had 1 error, and they left 3 runners on base. Res Christian, 7 runs on 10 hits. They had 4 errors, and they left 8 runners on base. Brush did a good job of being able to take care of what they needed to, and they dug down deep in the 6th inning in order to be able to take the game from the Res Christian Cougars. Brush's record moves to 6-3, 4-2 in the Patriot League. Res Christian record falls to 4-3, 3-3 in the Patriot League. And they meet again on Thursday at 4 o'clock at Sunset Field in Brush, Colorado. Like I said earlier, Res Christian it's gonna be interesting to see what they do pitching wise, because it seemed like they pitched everybody tonight.
Yes.
And Brush was able to touch them up. We know that Ruby won't be able to pitch again.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see exactly what happens with that game on Thursday. John Beltran will have that game on Thursday, and it'll be right here on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Beet Digger Baseball is Rose Condis.
We're clear.
I'm Kevin Fergus with the final score: Brush 21, Res Christian 7. You've been listening to Brush Beet Diggers Baseball on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network.